Love, Prosperity family. It's Brent Darden, founder and curator of Think to Win events. We hold them every last Friday of the month. It was put together so we can connect the community and let them have more access to influencers, business owners, and C-suite executives. Come out, learn the things that you wouldn't have had the privilege to learn either in the home or in the education system, and be a part of a huge family network. Again, this is Brent Darden, King and Light on all social media platforms. We're here every single last Friday of the month at Equal Minded Cafe on 43rd and Truth. And shout out to Dante Diaz Young, owner and operator of Equal Minded, and shout out to the director, Diverse School and Dre. Make sure y'all come out to the next event. This is Black Future Month. So the whole thing is to be creating collaboration over competition and be more familiar with each other. So the video I'm about to show right now is going to spark how I feel. This is a black hole. We need to start heading in the right direction, especially what's going on in the country. So I feel like Dr. Kawakami said, the mind is like a slingshot. The further you go back into history and know who you are, the farther you can prepare for the future. So I got some little clips from the history and the now and where we heading in the future.
I was with Elon at Starbase, and it was discussions of Donda designing the Starbase community where they launched the rockets. And I said, man, I just want to do deals like you, Elon. And he looked at me and said, I don't do deals, I build things. So let's stop doing deals. Let's start building things.
We didn't get any of that history from all of those soldiers that we lost. We got none of that. They all went to jail, if you can remember. They all went to penitentiaries. We didn't see none of that knowledge.
My name is Jay. My mom and dad met in Atlanta. That's where I was born. My father was a Black Panther. My mother worked at Operation Push with Jesse Jackson and became the first female head of the English department at Chicago State University. After my mom and dad separated, they offered my mother a job in a different state than my dad. And that changed the dynamic of me and my father's relationship to this day. The system has been separating families in every way that they can for years. America is made to enslave us. What they ever gave us. We done proved, we done showed, it's documented. Now it's cemented. Black future, it's time to invent it. If Ye said it, you know that he meant it. There's no more Black History Month. Every February, reminding us that we just barely can vote. You shouldn't have to be a tech genius, a basketball god, a musical wizard to be able to hold down your family. Been about 4 or 5 days since I see my kids. But we in America, ain't we? That's just how it is. When they write the history, when they write the narrative, when they take something that's strong and make it look like it's an embarrassment, when they take something that's weak and try to even make a comparison, when you say something that's strong and they say that you arrogant. And that's why the media be at our head. I want them to hear clearly exactly what I said. I want them to hear clearly exactly what God said. I believe he uses me as a vessel. You know what they say about Ye. He ain't crazy. He's special. I'm not a perfectionist, I'm a betterment and betterist, and it's time for improvement. We start by declaring Black Future Month. We're thinking about the future and not the past. This is a calling. This is more than balling. This is more than the dreams of a Harcourt and a Spalding. This is more than the dreams of the White House. This is our house. This is our country to be bought. But nah, that's not what we was taught. I remember my daughter came home and she said, Dad, I found out in school today I was Black. Wait, who told you that? Oh, I found out because it's Black History Month. I learned about Martin Luther King and I learned that I was black. She learned that she was black from Sierra Canyon's perspective. And what do you think Sierra Canyon's perspective of black is? You think it's talk about Mansa Musa or you think it's talk about Christopher Columbus? So if we want to talk about black history, who wrote that history for us? They beat down ideas that will keep you enslaved mentally. They target you, they put you in that box to control your mind and to make you fearful. I just don't have no fear left in me. So all I got is love. I've been waiting for us to take the power in our own hand. I've been waiting for us to control our narrative. We need to empower local leaders, and that's our focus in America, in a capitalist society, for us to unify. Our money is being made and going back into a white system everywhere. Our 44 million is worth 1.8 trillion. That means the black dollar is neck and neck with the biggest company in the world, which is Apple. And more focused, the black dollar will be the biggest company in the world. Yeezy is the only 100% black-owned brand that is cultural. And what me and Virgil broke down is the black belief in black design. Because we used to hold luxury here and black design there. And I'm fine to take what they gotta say, because it's not about me. It's about us. It's about our children. It's about an example of what we can be when we decide to walk off the field and take our narrative into our own hands. Black Future Month. This is the future.
That it's going to take you, the people, to institute what you want, to educate the people in the communities, to educate the people everywhere on what we want, what we design, what we need.
We must turn the communities into classrooms. We must do as Minister Huey P. Newton said, power is the ability to define phenomena and make it act in the desired manner.
Brent, your life was not easy. You have gone through lots of ups and downs. You were shot, you were stabbed, and still you made it to where you are today. Today you are known as a highly paid motivational speaker. You are into network marketing. You are there into sales and so forth.
I had just left West Brown, Florida. Before I left, I was homeless in Kansas City, Missouri. I was sleeping in the ladies' basement. And like I said, this is a vulnerable, transparent space. I come from a background, my family was partnered with the Gangster Disciples, my auntie's best friend, Larry Hoover wife. And I'm from the same neighborhood as Fred Hampton, Fred Hampton Jr. So it's like being in environments and your nature, your blood, like something in me, it calls me. Like I'm not out here just to motivate people. It has to be better. And no one's creating Black Panther moves like that. They still around a little bit, but they're not in units. A lot of people out there like Fear Foundation, Islam, they out there, they moving, but people don't want to convert but feel like they call it religion. So I said, okay, how can I create something that's inclusive and not feeling recruiting or religious, but still be transparent and connect? So when I bring videos on, I highlight people to remind us that that spirit's still alive. When you see a brother like me coming from Chicago, Kansas City, when I hear there's an issue with competition and collaboration. And then it's to break that ice and be that bridge to bring people together. So the art of evolving, reshaping reality, I said, I can't speak about myself. Let me go throughout the South Side, let me go out to the suburbs, let me let people hear, let them share how I've impacted them. 15 years old, I grew my own gang that grew up 300 members in 5 different cities, 5 different states. 15 years old, I started my own gang, that was 300. At 16, I got out of jail, and when I was in the park, there was 15 members of mine, and the undercover police officer walked up to me like, hey, you come here. I'm like, what I do? He like, just come here. And he used to be a security guard at school. He's like, look, man, I know you play football, I know you real good, and your whole clip over there, SGN, I know what y'all talking about, I know what you're talking about, you know what you're trying to play dumb. He's like, no, shut up, listen to me right now. They building a case called a RICO Act on you. You got a friend at school that got paperwork with everybody nicknames and rankings and all that, and he's got caught with drugs. So I'm telling you, I'm gonna put a word in for you, because I know that's not you, but if I was you, I'd stop everything that you're doing right now. So I went back over there, I called a meeting. So if I called a meeting, I started calling out to the other cities. People like, man, I feel you, big bro, but that's on you, we good out here. But it was organized to teach young brothers that grew up with single mothers how to protect yourself, how to fight, how to stand on two grounds. We don't jump, we stand on 2 feet. How to protect yourself, how the Gangster Disciples transition to growth and development. Teach people how to vote, take education serious, how to protect your community against police. Same way Nipsey did in LA. No one's really doing that no more because we fear death. And at the end of seeing the belly, what they say? You see how they lie to you? Your fear of imprisonment, your fear of death. When have you ever been free from these things? So when Kanye said, the job is to enslave us, if y'all get a chance, look at the Willie Lynch letter. The whole goal was to break the man's body down. No, destroy the mind, but keep the body. And they've done that out of fear, something that we all will come to, there's not enough unity. So I decided to bring fellas, women up, share their story. What was that background in the home? What was the education like? What was society like? And what's business? Because all 4 business has trials and tribulations, right? So what I want to do first is bring up my very first guest. I met this man, I didn't meet him, but I found out about him back in 2021. I came back into town, and I went to this award show, and I'm looking like, man, I ain't never seen nothing like this in Chicago. With some real MTV, BET type shit right here. Excuse my friend. So I'm looking like, man, I want to be on that stage one day. I really do. And then time went by, and I seen that he helping out the youth, he doing more things. I'm like, okay, this girl ain't just this. What else he doing? So I tried to reach out, and I didn't get a response on Facebook. So I'm a busy man, but I'm not gonna take it personal. And that's the problem. A lot of people take stuff personal. You know what I'm saying? Because you got time on your hands, don't mean the next man does. And no matter how the appearance look, doesn't mean the back office, they struggling. They only got a one-man army. So it's like, I'm gonna be patient. And then eventually the universe lined up again. And I'm like, hey, I met him at Black Hole, and that's a group for black men, black brothers. So when you're in a space with like-minded people, like how y'all in space right now, y'all can connect with everybody in this room. We're on the same page. We broke the ice. We brothers and sisters in here. So the first person I'm gonna bring up to the panelists is Mr. Terrell Ray. And then this next man, I bumped into him plenty times here at this space, and I'm looking like, man, who is that dude? And I tell him, oh, you know him? Oh, he found he one of the co-founders of GIF. He did this. And I'm like, oh, sorry, you talking too fast. Like, why should I know him? But just go over there and introduce yourself. I walk up to him. He got this look on his face like, yeah, what's up? What's wrong? You know what I'm saying? So now I'm feeling a little shy and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Then I see him walk out the restaurant, he got a nice car, so he feel little. I'm like, oh, hold on, man. I'm just trying to offer opportunity. I'm trying to put him on the platform. So it's been 2 years in the making, and then the universe came back around again in the time with Donald Trump in the office, and more black men need more help and support. And when it comes to business structure, a lot of people can't see, well, like, you know about GIF? No, what's GIF? Oh, ain't you from that? Yeah, but what's good? Oh shit. Alright, so now I gotta capture stuff on video and show stuff and show people so people really know what's going on in their own backyard. So can you all give a round of applause to Mr. Brandon Campbell. And then this next gentleman, when I was out in Florida and I was talking with Les Brown, he said, when you looking to build a platform of your own, you don't just go out to the community and one by one, you'll be building all day. That's like trying to build Rome in a day. You connect with influential people and you become part of organizations. Since you've been out here with us, you see we had you going out to car companies, insurance companies, real estate companies, churches, because these are influential people I've established a brand and connection with that now because of the reputation, the relationships, and my name, now you all can go out and they will invite you and be proud to have you. And that's how we can sell tickets and we get people to come to the events. So I'm like, okay, I need to be part of an organization, but what type? And then 2 days later, we went to Orlando, and that was the first time I stepped foot in the Chambers of Commerce. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's going on there. Yeah, this is power right here. So when I came to Kansas City, I'm looking around like, you know what would be dope if black people had like a country club, like something that's just luxurious, laid back, feel good, smooth. And I remember my father used to smoke cigars a little bit, and he stopped. He never was part of no organization or club. I'm like, why people do stuff like that? Like that's just nasty, it's stank. You know what I'm saying? I came out here one day and I'm looking for black-owned businesses, and I come across Classic Blends Coffee and Cigars. I'm like, I step in, I find out the owner of the business, talk to him, right off the bat, connect the energy, kindred spirit energy. And he accepted me, and I instantly the first day he gave me a tour. Oh, come on, you let me hop in my truck. I'm like, what type of business don't let a stranger hop in his truck? So he take me to the second location. It's membership lounge, and it don't feel salesy. It's genuine because I'm the one asking questions. He's like, yeah, I can show you this, I can show you that. I'm like, man, I ain't never met an owner to take time to do that. So next, I want you to give a round of applause for Mr. William owner, operator of Classic Blends Coffee and Cigars. Please share what was the struggle that you faced and how did you overcome it today?
I grew up here in Kansas City off of 49th Street, and I grew up with a father who lived at home. But my father was my stepdad. And so, just like you expressed earlier, I wanted a relationship with my dad. So the conflict in my home was obviously between me and stepdad. So I moved out early at about 16, kind of went to the streets and whatnot, but by the grace of God and just the universe lined up. I ended up getting a scholarship to play football and whatnot. But that was the biggest conflict. It's not having my
How y'all doing out there? Good, thank you. So I grew up in the 50s, one of the most notorious neighborhoods in Kansas City, Missouri. Daddy was on 58th and Chestnut, Mom's was on 51st Euclid. So 50s all the way through. My biggest struggle growing up as a kid, I got locked up when I was 12 years old, didn't get out till I was 16. My dad died when I was 12. When I originally first got locked up, my mom was never in my life at all. I didn't overcome that struggle until I actually became a parent. I didn't actually overcome it until I became a parent. And I have 2 children of my own. And I always wanted to be that parent that my dad wasn't because he died of throat cancer. He was drinking. I don't drink, nor do I smoke. And I don't preach that to my kids and just do it on their own. But I always wanted to be that parent that my parents were not. And that was present and also being active in my kids' life, giving them things that I did not have as a child. As you all know, 12 through 16, that's when your vital years of identifying yourself, becoming who you are in life. Well, I was locked up, so I didn't know who I was going to be until after I got locked up in my 20s. And now later in my 40s is when I really found my purpose.
All right. So challenges, struggles that I had when I was growing up, how I got through them. So I grew up in 20s, right? Right off of 27th with Tracy. Grew up in a house that often had no lights, no gas, no water all at the same time. My mom and both my parents were in the house, and they had struggles with substances, right? If we didn't have money for food, they were still drinking and smoking. And then a whole lot of domestic violence, right? They fought, they fought each other a lot. And when I turned 13, I got gym. I started playing football. I got pulled myself, and on a very, very regular basis, I fought my dad, like all the time, all the time. And so just growing up in that type of economic environment, as well as that just violent environment, all I knew was poverty and anger, and so how I got through that was just really understanding who I wanted to be and mainly who I didn't want to be. Not necessarily who I wanted to be, but who I didn't want to be. What impact I didn't want to have on the community, what impact I didn't want that to have on my life, and just start like literally aggressively moving in the other direction.
Round of applause for that. So the next question I have, when it comes to business, when you all started, what were some of the concerns that you had? Like, were you scared, or did you wait till you had all your ducks in a row? Did you start funding with your personal money first, then transition to business, or you started just straight out from the gate? So the question, when it comes to business, did you just start, or did you take time to the 5 P's, proper plan, preparation, prevents poor performance?
Well, for me, my background is accounting, and so I've pastored for 26 years, so I've always had an entrepreneurial type spirit. But due to COVID, some other things, and the church dissolving, I've always had a vision for business and wanted to do something to create fellowship, create opportunities for people to talk. So in my head, it's always been kind of a coffee shop, cigar, that type of environment to bring that vibe, to bring people together. So in terms of the business acumen, I've spent 26 years or over 30 years in accounting, kind of being trained for it. And then pastoring is in itself more or less a business because it was a church plant. So initially starting a business for me is just getting out there and doing it. You know, and not, the risks are what they are. And you know, when you start a business, you just gotta be prepared for the risks that are gonna come up, because they are. But I think you gotta start with a vision. And so, you know, my vision is what it was. And as I, you know, put one foot in front of the other, the business itself and how it formulated was evolved, I guess. It kind of, you know, it built and, okay, this works, almost like building a puzzle. And so what you see today may not be, you know, as I continue to look at it and tweak here or tweak there, there'll be some differences. But the core of my vision is to create a space for people to be entertained, enjoy themselves, and adult at their own place. Then the cigar lounge that I created, where there's a private membership, is a place for men to come out, and also ladies, obviously, to come out and meet, talk. So that's kind of what that is.
Are you serious about that hand, huh? I thought you was trying to punk us or something. When do I start?
So let me repeat the question. So the question is, when it comes to business, did you do the proper plan preparation before you started, or did you just jump out there?
I'll speak on the awards. So back in 2008, one of my good friends, Joseph Thomas, I know him as Joey Cuts, he went out to the Hoodie Awards. He actually won Best Barbershop that year, and I went out there with him. I paid my own fare and all that. And at that time, you know, in the arena, thousands of people, I'm not thinking about an award show. But God put that into my vision. I didn't even know that then. So fast forward, 2019, I'm thinking about the BET Awards, I'm thinking about the Grammys, I'm thinking about Kansas City needs our own platform to be recognized. And I knew when I went to the Hoodie Awards, our city was not ready to support an award show. We lacked support on a tremendous level versus right now, even if you think about today, how there was a boycott, there was people against it, there was people that supported it, but had we had that same boycott back then, no one would have supported it. So fast forward today, there's a lot more support, and now we are ready in 2019 for an award show. Even though in 2019 there was so much criticism, so much hate, and it almost made me stop. But 7 years later, now I continue on that vision that God planted into my mind, and people don't really understand. We went from Purcell High School the very first year. This year we'll be at the Kaufman Center for the Performing Arts.
All right. So when we started Gift, for us it wasn't really an either or, right? It was one, we needed to move, and we needed to plan, right? And so it was COVID. We was at home. We had the benefit of being stuck at home. Had a whole bunch of time, and so all of the proper planning and stuff we did all of that within the first 3 to 4 weeks of Gift. We did the paperwork. We created the business plans. We got the accounting structure and all of that stuff set up, and we did not let an over-analysis slow us down, right? If we would have never moved, we would have never got anywhere, right? But if we also moved, if we moved unintelligently, then we wouldn't get anywhere either. So what I said back then was that if it takes us 2 years to do something that we could do in 2 months, that's irresponsible of us, right? And so we did both. We spent up until 2 a.m. at the kitchen table, writing all of the plans, the structures, all of that, or also, figuring out how we can start taking steps to walk, and then how we can start running as soon as we possibly could.
So I'm glad you answered that question, because I still want Brandon, I want you, I said it's different, I was in accounting, right? So when it comes to that, how did you go about securing the funding though? I mean, for your business, when you had to make the initial investment, Terrell said he came out of his pocket. How did y'all go about it?
Well, for me, I had some real estate, so I just pulled out the real estate. But anyone that's that's starting a business, most of the time when you initially start a business, you want to make sure your paperwork is good from the jump. Because if you're in business after a year or two, like for example, I'm expanding, I'm starting another location, but because I'm an accountant, my financial statements together, my P&Ls are together, I have my assets, my liabilities straight. I went to a bank and was able to get money within days. But that's only because everything is proper, everything is good, and they can see the money trail, they can see how the dollars are coming in and going out. So initially, when you start a business, most of the time, unless you can put together a really good business plan, and I put together a good business plan, but because I had no history, it was hard to get any money without coming up with a lot of money. Now, I secured a loan initially for my first business, for my first location, but I had to come up with so much money up front, like I tried to do. I did an SBA loan and borrowed maybe $400,000. But I had to come up with 15 or 20% of money. Well, after I had come up with so much money, I just used my seed money to start the business, right? And so now, when I went back to do the loan, there's a history there. The paperwork is there. They did the loan within days, and I actually get a line of credit. That's what I did. So initially, when you start a business, that's the way you want to go with it.
I wonder when the heck was going to
And I'm gonna try to be quick because we had $0 when we started. So the story about how we actually funded Gift is kind of long. But we took one. We are a non-profit and we're public charity 501c3, so we funded for donation. When we started Gift, I had no connections. Did nobody know who we was? We got no foundation support. We got no corporate support. If you know the story about how Gift got started, we started in a Facebook group, kind of off of a Facebook post with BOBKC. Facebook group under the idea that if all 15,000 of us in that group put in $10 a month, we could grow black businesses ourselves. We ain't got to wait on nobody else to do it, right? And so we put that structure together, and we got it launched. We went back to the group. It's like, all right, all the people, the hundreds of people that said that this would be a great idea. We here, let's do it. And we got six people signed up to put their $10 a month in, right? And so usually when people think of Gift, they think that we launched. We went to that Facebook group. We got a few thousand people that signed up, and we just got rolling. And that's not really that's not what happened. We got 6 people, so we got $60. And then I put in maybe 50. Other co-founders, we put in a little bit of money. We went and we opened up our bank accounts, and then we did high touch, person to person fundraising. Right, it was COVID. We were stuck at home. I was in the Army for a little bit, which is relevant because while I was in college, I was older than everybody else in all of my classes. So all of my college friends are my teachers. Right, and so I reached back out to my teachers, and we did. We hopped on Zoom. We did one-on-one stuff. They started donating, and then we did a bunch of digital campaigns, and they started donating too. But again, real high touch, person to person fundraising.
Love it. Round of applause for that right there. As you all got older, you hit your adult age, 21, 22. Now you're your own man. You may have had kids, you may have not had kids yet. But before you got there, who was the best mentor for you, or what was a book or something that changed your life?
Well, for me, being an athlete, obviously, coaches that were around. My father wasn't present. I didn't have a relationship with my stepfather. So, typically, or a lot of times, most coaches will bring you in. So my biggest influence was my high school coach. Sorry, my college and my high school coach. Particularly when I hit my 20s, my college coaches, football and track. And then as I got married pretty early, I've been married for 35 years, so I married when I was 21. And so if any of you guys are married, you know that you can't do it without the Lord. So early on in marriage, I really started to, because I didn't have the training to be a man. I had someone in the home, but I didn't have a relationship with my dad. So I obviously, a lot of what he taught me wasn't received. And so as I started to want to be a good husband, a good father, I really started to get in the Word. And so I read the Word a lot, especially through my 20s, 21 to about 26. And it really, as I grew in a relationship with the Lord, He taught me how to be good. He taught me how to be good.
Before I became a father, I became a father at 24 years old. I didn't have a mentor whatsoever in my 20s. I was outside, riding on datings, wanted to be seen by the girls, had nice cars at Swope Park. Did not care whatsoever about none of that marriage, family, none of it. I was raised by wolves. That's why I tell people, because I was raised by my cousins who glorified having a lot of women. And that's what I looked up to. That's what made me who I was in my 20s. My son is what changed me. There wasn't nobody else. There wasn't a mentor. There wasn't even God that changed me. It was my son. And realizing that I didn't want him to grow up the same exact way that I grew up, without a father, without a mother, without a responsible figure in his life. The same way that I treated women in my 20s, I didn't want my son to do that. So having him in that verse, I wasn't that changing the diapers all the time and coming to watch your kid. No, I'm outside. You can watch them, you good. But as I matured and realizing like this is my responsibility, my son made me a better man.
So my relationship with my father obviously was really, really convoluted. I talk about how we fist fought all the time, and I also, I watched him walk 50 blocks to work, like 50 blocks to work, 50 blocks back home to make $60 a day. And they got the money and spent it on what he spent it on, but he did it and complain. And so I saw hard work. I learned hard work kind of just by observing. He wasn't trying to teach me hard work. He wasn't trying to teach me anything. But I absorbed that if he could do that, then I can't complain about all of the other stuff that I'm doing that's hard, because that's physically hard. And then one of my best friends, his dad was really like a role model to me. He was the example of what a good man is, right? And when he drove a taxi when I was 18. I got a call because he was driving overnight. Somebody was in the backseat of the taxi. They shot him in the back of the head, and they didn't even take nothing. They didn't have it. And so just after that, the question I always ask myself since 18, I see, is am I living up to the standard of a good man that he set? Would he be proud of me and how I operate? So my dad taught me hard work, and that man taught me how to be a good man.
So some of you all, when y'all seen the flyer, they said your brand is your family new heirloom. So it was a play on words, but it's a reality. I think we start businesses and we want to pass it down. We overlook the strength of your last name, your credibility, the reputation, the relationships. So it's a lot of no parents, they die, they gotta have fish fries, they gotta have GoFundMes, they don't have no businesses, they don't have no life insurance, none of that. So what are you passing down? All you passing down is memories. Oh, I remember my mom used to do this, my dad did.
But if they had closed off circles, or you had drug addicts in your family like I did, or you got toxic masculinity all around you, like what are you really learning that's going to your subconscious mind and you pass it down to your kids, or you pass it down to your cousins, your nieces, and nephews? You're not really changing because you didn't have the right mentorship. So when I say your brand is your family new heirloom, it's all about your relationships that you create. Be very intentional. Don't be temporary, be long lasting. Know yourself, know the value, know the mission. Be very intentional about everything that you do in life. The biggest thing that changed my life is when I got shot and I had my daughter. So people said, why you went to Kansas City? Baby in the bullet. One of the real story, it was like, yeah, what you mean, baby in the bullet? I was like, well, I feel like God was talking to me. I grew up in the church as a Baptist, Pentecostal, and I wasn't slowing down. So first thing was, okay, you locked up. Are you slowing down? Second thing, I'm gonna give you a daughter. Are you still slowing down? I'm gonna give you one more chance, but I'm gonna hit you where it really hurt. So when I was in the car and I almost got robbed, I had to raise my arm like this, and I got shot right here. And that was at 20 years old, and I'm 33, and I still got the bullet in me. So when that happened, my friend called me, bro, you got a daughter to live for now. Kansas City is cheap, price of living, opportunities is here, come out here. And then I heard a song. It wasn't a book, I didn't like reading, I barely graduated high school. It was a song by Kendrick Lamar called Cut You Off, because I felt betrayed. They set me up, and when nobody wanted to show up and fight, the only person calling was my cousin and them. And they finna go to the person's house and shoot it down at the house. Me being from the streets, that's too much attention on me. So it was relationships. Someone extended their hand, come from Chicago, come out here, I left, you can come out here, I got you, stay with me. Relationships. The song, Kendrick Lamar, he had a song called Cut You Off. I'm trying to cut everybody off. He said, I searched deeply for Kendrick Lamar. I read about Napoleon Hill and try to know God. They say he the key to my blessings, but if I speak the good into existence, then instantly my dreams are unlocked. Money flow like water. I just wait at the dock. I said, okay, I know who God is. Who's Napoleon Hill? So I look up on YouTube. I still want to read Napoleon Hill. First I did Google. Think and Grow Rich, Laws of Success. I'm like, Think and Grow Rich? Let me go to YouTube, look at it. And his philosophy is very simple. Whatever the mind can conceive to believe, it can achieve. And then I started looking back in the Bible. You know, faith without works is dead. You know, call forth those things that are not as though they were. Now things is connected. See, the reputation of Kendrick Lamar, me being a hip-hop head, I'm not listening to the pastors, I'm not listening to the preachers, I'm not listening to my dad, he old as shit. I'm like, that's your dad, you born 1938, man, it's a nightmare, I'm trying to, it's different. So that's what changed me, music, relationships, and reputation. Now, yeah, I can't get around. All right. Now, the next guest I want to bring up, I manage an artist by the name of Sophie Hayes. Sophie Hayes is an R&B artist mainly, but she's very diverse. She got a lot of talent. This man heard her music. They did some beat production. They still got some music working on. Showed a lot of love, a lot of support. We sat down, we swapped information, we shared stories, connected heart to heart as a brother. And I put him on a book called Hustle Harder, Hustle Smart by 50 Cent. And he reached out to me like, bro, man, appreciate this book. And I heard it about 2 times and I love it. So I want you all to give a round of applause. In my case, not being from here, the voice of the city, Brian B. Shiner. What was something that happened in the household that you had to work through and overcome? Hey, you got 2 minutes, and I'm gonna be in my mind.
First off, Brandon, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. The one thing that sticks out, all right, so being married to my wife, and I'm gonna be very open with y'all. One thing that being married to my wife, I realized that I was neglected growing up. I really was. Emotionally, that is. Like, just talking about my mother. And she was totally out of it too. For several reasons that we'll be here all night talking about it. But like having a mother's love, having a mother's touch, I didn't have none of that growing up. And the thing is, I realized when I was young, when I moved to my stepmother in my daddy's house. Now, me knowing that I have a white mother and a black mother, I see the difference. It is what it is. I don't give a damn what nobody say to me. You can't tell me about what I've experienced and what I've seen. I experienced it from my black grandmother, which is the only grandmother I ever had. And we only got to go over on weekends. And nothing against my mother, but she just didn't have it in her. And I saw the way that my stepmother treated my little brother. And that's why I'm late today, because it's my little brother's birthday. So
happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Please, thank you. But I saw that love that she gave him. There's a picture I posted today on my Instagram where he's on the stool and and she's just looking after him, making sure that he go all the way or whatever. And somebody put a comment, it's so cute. Why did you do that? I said, that's a mother's love. And don't underestimate mothers and sons of mothers, the impact that mothers will have on a son's life. I think it's the same as a father, but it's totally different. My bad. I kept talking.
When I put my hand up, that means just
my bad. That's it though. Like just
round of applause. Yeah. The other question I had was when it comes to business. So for you in that case, I believe it's like just taking that initial investment in yourself and believing in yourself. Did you have funding? Did you have to borrow money? Did you start it by yourself? How did you go about actually taking that first initial step to following your career, your dreams?
It was totally by myself, but God blessed me with so many earthly angels. Like my guidance counselor in high school, Mrs. Fisher. She's the one who introduced me to broadcasting. We started a broadcasting club by my senior year at Northeast. It was curriculum. And I had a head start at Northwest Missouri State when I went to college on what I wanted to do. A man named Fred Langer, he was another advisor. He was an advisor at Northwest. And I was messing up. It was during the worst of my life to where I was kicked out of school. And the following summer, my dad passed away. But through all of that, he said, look, if you want to stop bullshit and graduate, come with me. 2.5 years later, I graduated, thanks to him. So it's been a lot of earthly angels that's guided me. And thank God that I had the sense enough to listen to them and follow what they said.
Round of applause for that. And then the last question until we get back to the first question we're walking in on is when it comes to mentorship or when it comes to books, like what was something that you heard or who was you following that really gave you some type of guidance or mentorship?
The book that you gave me really gave me some game. It really did. But Will Smith's book, it is a long ass book, but it is worth every single minute that you're gonna spend reading. I mean, I'm an audiobook person. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm Mr. Book because I just started reading books after the pandemic, no lie. And so I didn't know that audiobooks counted as reading books. So as long as you get the information in, it doesn't matter. Braille, audio, reading, whatever. So, but Will Smith's book gave me confidence in trying to really go after my purpose. Because later in the book, when he was talking about Ali and him performing in that movie, it was bigger than that role. He had to fulfill the purpose of Muhammad Ali inside and outside of acting. But it's a plethora of things. But Will Smith's book, it is a wonderful read, y'all. For real, I highly recommend that book.
Round of applause for that. Round of applause for that. Pass the mic back on the wheel. So the question that's coming in was brand. I feel like people start businesses, they want to pass down businesses. But a lot of them don't know where to start, how to start, and they stay in overanalyze mode. And I know beyond that, we don't talk enough about our last name, our dignity, our relationships, our reputation that will forever be the true wealth beyond a brand or business. Because a business can fail, tax systems can crash, a lot of things have changed that, but nothing will change the morals and values and the last name that you created and what you established. So when it comes to your business, but really your name, what do you want to leave behind? Because when I see Classic Blends just as a customer consumer, I see big business. Like we had talks, I want to franchise, go global, I want to franchise. Terrell, when I see the things you're doing for the youth, when I see what you did at KCBA Awards, that's good, that's great. It inspired me. That's why I did the small version. You know what I'm saying? Give me my credit. I'm trying. And then Brandon, how you found a gift, and I started learning about that. It made me say every panelist that I bring up together, eventually one year I'm gonna do an annual panelist alumni when we really pull our wealth together and we pour back in the community. So y'all not just one of the black, local businesses out here doing it. I want to add to that too as well. Brian, when I hear your voice on the radio, I started off as doing music and everything, but I hear Brian be shining. And I'm like, that sounds like DJ Ferris in Chicago. But DJ Ferris ain't got no business, but it's that name, Ferris, it's the drops. And you was telling me like, man, I ain't nobody. I ain't no rule. I'm like, bro, you the voice. Like really, you the voice. You already like people like you. I love it. So when it comes to brand, when you hear that and you think about your name, what is it that you really want to leave behind?
Well, that's a really good question. Obviously, when you start a business, branding is everything. So for me initially, I initially wanted to call the cigar shop Holy Smokes because again, I wanted to create an environment where guys can come out and ladies and chat and create a place of fellowship. But as I started again evolving and building the space out and looking at it, I said, man, this place is kind of classy. So then that's hence the name Classic Blends. And so in terms of branding and what I've done to brand it and put my name behind it, when people come in, I want them to see a clean space, an adult space, a good customer service, and then that CBC. In terms of creating that and pushing that out, putting that everywhere, on Instagram, Facebook, cards. When people talk to me, they're gonna get a card. They're gonna get something with CBC on it. And then the cigars itself, as I started to get in the business, you grow as you start to do, and you start to learn nuances. So I figured out, hey, you can create a cigar line. And so I thought, oh, there's a brand. And so I got with a designer and created a CBC. I had already created that, but I wanted to put it on the cigar logo. And my wife came up with the idea of putting my face on the cigar. And so as I've started branding that in Kansas City, I had a guy approach me from another city. So I had a guy approach me from Nashville. And I thought, man, I could sell these all across the country. So I started branding in St. Louis and Dallas. And so there's some places in Texas you can go find my cigar. In Tennessee, and it's got that CBC logo on that face. And that face is what draws people to it because, they think about, this is black on CBC. And so the branding itself is what created that.
I love it. Round of applause for that right there.
So to answer your question with full transparency, that was one of my reasons to change at my late age. 27 months ago, I decided to I woke up and just said I want to be a different person than what I was before. My kids knew that Daddy could take care of them. There was never an issue when it comes to financing. Never an issue when it came to love. But what good is it if Daddy's an asshole? Daddy is not the man that he should be. Daddy didn't necessarily treat Mama the right way that she should be treated. So I focused more on, instead of leaving my kids wealth, I wanted to leave a name behind of respect. So that was one of the biggest part of me changing who I was 27 months ago, because when my children, they speak of my name, or people say, oh, you're Terrell's daughter, you're Terrell's son, I want them to feel like I respect your father. I don't want them to think about the awards. I don't want them to think about what I did with the kids. I want them to think about respect.
Round of applause right there. That's the brand right there. Respect the good brand.
Yeah, so when I think about brand, I think about, what is it that I want to be known for, right? And I want to be known for being the person that's doing the impossible, right? I think the stuff that we're doing, that we are fighting hard to try to close the racial wealth gap in Kansas City, but also to expand nationally and take the fight for racial equity beyond Kansas City, right? We got to get that right. We got to do it well here in Kansas City. I feel like that is it's not just my I ain't the superhero. I ain't the racial equity superhero, but it's that is what I want to be. I don't want to look at a challenge that I feel like I have a solution to and then just turn my head from it. Because if I do that, then what's the difference in actively tearing down the community if I got a solution and I'm not putting that solution into the community, right? And so I want to be known for doing the impossible and taking action on the social challenges, specifically on racial equity, that we need to be taking action on. And then also in that impossible, I am really wanting to develop as an entrepreneur.
right? And I'm not talking about, we start a business, we grow a local business. I'm talking about how do we create a business that goes public that we eventually sell? Like, how are we competing with the Elon Musk of the world? So that's doing the impossible on those things.
Round of applause for him right there. As far as brands, I'm a competitor, and so I'm gonna go to wedding DJing, since that's like my particular profession. And have you ever been to a wedding where the setup was a little sloppy, music might have been a little too loud, they playing cussing music in front of your grandparents and kids? It's little details like that. Now the party might be hype and y'all might be cool and everything, but I feel like it's little details like that separates my brand from other DJs. Name whoever DJ you want to name. But those are little simple little rules that I follow that at the end of the night people will be like, hey, we turned up, but man, I'm so glad you played the clean version of Get Crunk with Bo Hagen when Grandma was here. It's little things like that in my setup. I try to make sure everything is clean. It's being such a perfectionist. And when you hear me on the radio, when you hear the cheat songs, when you hear, them cheat songs, I be up till 2 in the morning making things. I could do a little freestyle or something in an hour. So, I need it to be good. So quality is my main goal with my brand, to separate from everyone else.
So my brand is king and light and think to win. So in order to be a king, like Jesus said, even the greatest amongst you shall be your servant. So that's why I do the things that I do. I can't be out here on royalty just because we black and we come from Africa. Yeah, that's DNA. But you still got to show up in the flesh. And what does that look like? Who are you serving? What are you serving? Why are you doing it? Think to win, that is challenging us. Like I said, the whole goal of slavery was to destroy the mind, keep the body. So when we living in fear and no one wants to step up and be that change, it's only because we don't know ourselves. We don't have knowledge of self. We really pray to God, we talk to God, but you really don't know God because you don't know yourself. Because when you really read the scriptures, I don't care if it's Quran, Torah, I don't care if it's Egypt, you're supposed to be the walking in imitation and creation and making of God. You're supposed to co-create with God instead of just relying on God and falling back. It said, if a man does not want to work, let him not eat. So what are you working for? And you can't just be out there working for the dollar, because that's slavery. That's the new systematic slavery. You're enslaving yourselves. So you have to partner up in fellowship with brothers and come together in communities and be like Jesus, be recruited and go recruit 12. Had the 12 go do this. But guess what? It was all under one name, one mission and goal, one band, one sound. So, good stuff. So the last two questions of the night, so we can open up the Q&A. When you hear the word think to win, what does that mean to you, and how do you go about using it?
A mindset is everything. That's, everybody's got how they process information. So for me, I honestly try to get up in the morning, have some time of meditation to get my thinking right. Because, I run 3 businesses. I'm an accountant, so I'm still consulting in my accounting services. Still trying to expand my business. And so I have to process what I want to do before I do it. So I try to, when I think to win, I gotta stop and pause in the morning. I spend some time in the Word, spend some time praying. Sometimes I just sit there because I got a lot to do. So to me, thinking to win is to stop and think about what you have to do. Get the garbage out of your mind, get the distraction out of your head, and so that you can, move forward and not waste time, right? Because obviously, I got more life behind me than I do in front of me. I'm 55. My dad died when I was 49. My grandfather died in his 70s. So if I'm doing time, I probably got maybe 10 or 15 good years. So I'm trying to not waste time and think about what I'm doing so I can get as much done as I can. So yeah.
Round of applause for that right there.
When I think about Think to Win, for me, it's more of not going backwards, not showing the person I was before. When I'm tested, when I want to pop off, I have to think about my growth. I have to think about my purpose in life. As I stated, over these last couple of years of how far I've come, I realized the test doesn't come until you actually sit still, you be quiet, you don't respond back to negativity. Because my old person, people who know me, I used to just pop off and I didn't care what happened. We can take it there, we can do whatever, Facebook, it don't matter. And now I'm to that place in my mind to where I'm not going backwards anymore. I have people like Brian B. Shine, and he'll hit me up and he'll say, Ray, don't respond. They'll say, I see my God, Big Mac, another person, they'll say, Ray, don't respond, don't go backwards, because that's who I was. So Think to Win is always thinking forward, not backwards for me.
So, when I Think to Win, my background actually before nonprofit and business, all of that, my degree is exercise physiology, and I was a personal trainer. I did powerlifting for a little bit, right? And the mind is the strongest muscle that you have, right? And so if you believe that you can win, then you can, right? But if you are putting doubt in your mind, if you're not getting up, getting after it, you're not trying, then you're not going to be successful, right? And so Think to Win, like you have to think that you can win. Because a lot of people put that barrier in their mind. I'm not good enough to do this. I'm not smart enough to do that. I'm not talented enough to do that. I don't know the right people to do that. But you gotta take all of that negativity out so that you can keep moving forward. But you also gotta do it strategic, right? Think to win, not just doing stuff, not just throwing yourself against the wall, hoping that you become successful, hoping that you win, right? You gotta be strategic, and you gotta persevere in order to do that. So when I hear Think to Win, that's what I mean.
Love it, right? Talking to you. Think to Win means to me to prepare. Being in radio, you gotta be on your feet and you gotta know what the hell you're talking about at all times. Now, look, I am no super brain. By the way, he's had to call me a couple times, be like, D, chill out, don't say nothing. So I just had to get that out. But look, preparing and doing your homework and cover up a whole bunch of mistakes on the fly. I am a witness to it. For instance, interviewing Mayor Lucas every single Monday. I've gotten into a habit to make sure that I got at least 3 questions prepared on Sunday to ask on Monday, because Monday at 7 o'clock, he only got like 15 minutes with us. So I have to make sure that I know what I'm talking about and make sure I know what I'm doing. So preparing in whatever business venture that you're going to, meaning preparing for the worst, preparing for the best, preparing for everything. Just doing your homework in whatever meeting you're about to go to and making sure, because there's sometimes in those meetings, people can point out little things like, oh, you knew the stats from 2 weeks ago? Well, come in my office. I want to offer you something else. And that, that could happen later on. So I just think being on your toes and knowing what you're talking about, being prepared at all times is Thinking to Win to me.
Awesome. Thank you. Round of applause for that right there. So the last question of the night, Think to Win to me means team, together everyone achieves more, but we all got our own personal lives and stuff to do, so you have to create systems, team systems. Save yourself time, energy, and money. That's what Think to Win means. Now, what advice do you all have for those in the audience when it comes to actually moving forward in this time that we're in, and that's starting at that startup phase of business or becoming a personal brand or influencer, or want to start their platforms like KCBA Awards, want to probably start a non-for-profit, want to get around more people? Like, what advice do you have for them? And we'll open up the Q&A after that. So you will.
You gotta take the risk. You can't wait. Now, obviously, everything we've talked about, you're strategic, thinking ahead, planning, prep, and all that's good. But I think somebody said earlier, you can analysis by paralysis. You can think about something for so long and you just stuck. You got to get out there and do it. Money can't be an issue because you can always scale your business. So if you don't have a lot of money, do what you want to do with as much money, with the small amount of money you have. They call it business to scale. Because I started with one shop, scaled it to 2, now I'm scaling it to 3, business to scale. You just got to get out there and do it. And as you start walking, you'll learn what you need. You'll learn from your mistakes. A loss is not a loss if you learn. So you just got to just do it, and don't procrastinate. Yeah.
Round of applause for that.
I would say collab, not compete. There are a lot of businesses that do the same thing. There's going to be people that's going to come up after you that's going to do the same thing. Even with the awards, if you guys know Quez, he just started a new award ceremony, and I love it. I don't have to be the only award show in Kansas City. If you have it in your mind, a vision, a dream, you too can also do an award show. You can have a cigar bar, you can create a non-for-profit organization, but have that mindset of collab instead of competing, because we all can win and we're on the same accord instead of individually and having our own, goals and accomplishments that we want to achieve. No, we can help each other achieve those same goals and still win together.
So I'm really just repeating what they've been saying. So plan, move, then tweak it, right? So sit down and actually make sure that you are thinking out your business, that you know what you're doing, right? Don't just start moving blind. But don't spend so much time planning that you never move, right? Because it doesn't have to be perfect. You gotta have the initial framework, you put some action behind it, and then you will have to change it, tweak it, and the original product, original service won't be the finished product. So plan, move, tweak.
Love it, man. I think it's always important to follow with integrity, and whatever business you're in, whatever you're doing, just follow with integrity. Be straight and narrow, because there's going to be other people that's going to work with you, and eventually that house of cards will crumble. At the end of the day, the lies will show. So I like that. I'm always big on that, and also following your soul. Like the first question that y'all asked me about, what did I learn about being at home or whatever, what did I learn? Like being strong by myself. And being strong by myself, always moving solo, I had to follow my heart. I had to follow my soul, my spirit. So whatever your spirit guides you, I would lead with integrity that way.
So this is how I'm utilizing collecting the black dollar. Now, along with my events, I'm connecting a book club. I'm connecting a storytelling development workshop with Dr. Ryan S. Harvey. I'm partnering with Cornell Gorman with, did I say it right? Cornell. Yeah, Cornell. And we put together a DIY, do-it-yourself with AI assistance program, how to market, sales, and business development. We're doing a workshop and we'll be holding that here soon. So before you all leave, if you're interested into sales, marketing, storytelling, communicating, how to connect your story with an actual service or product, I got a form back in the back of the room and or up front. And then all you gotta do is write down your phone number, email, check off the box what you're interested in. But also, like I talked about, a lot of us is leaving this life with nothing to pass down and we still trying to figure it out. So if you all open to opportunities to financially position yourself and protect yourself, put on the word collab under the sheet up front, or text the number I have them give you. When y'all signed in, I'll text you and just let me know and reply back collab. I'd like to know more information about that. So before we go, Brian, I appreciate you. You showed up. So give a round of applause for Brian because he get to come back around. No problem. So before we end the night, please connect with some of you folks. Brandon got a great service over there at GIFT. They help you with business planning, business startup, and a lot more. Will has his memberships with Cigar Classic Blends. Like I said, it's a luxurious lounge in North Kansas City. 2 locations. Come out and check them out. And I want to give Terrell the mic before I bring up our vendor and let you know their mission for the city.
Just real quick, keep saying, like you said. Check out who is Brian B? Was he on the radio? No, but seriously, with the awards, as I stated earlier, we get 1,400, 1,500 people to come out every single year. If you have a business that you would like to invest in your business, it is a great opportunity to be a sponsor. KC Gift has been a sponsor for the last 4 years. People really appreciate what we do for their business. And I know people, when they think about sponsorships, is giving money. It's not about money. It's about investing in your business. So if you would like to be a sponsor for the awards, please reach out to me. You can contact me, or once we're done, you can ask me questions, we can connect. But it is a true investment because you are speaking to your people that's in that audience.
All right, now for the end of the night, and I apologize for that. Thanks for calling me out. I love accountability because Brother Richie, you know, he's all about accountability. So, Brother Richie, can you please come up to the room if you're still in the building? Mr. Goodass Pickles, give him a round of applause. All right, okay, well, I appreciate Ricky for opening the show up. And can I please have one of the representations for Decarcerate KC come to the front of the room? Give him a round of applause for Decarcerate KC. Hey, that's a smooth walk, man. Get on up here. Folks got time schedule today on.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Saru Amara, and this is
Amaya.
We are organizers at Decarcerate KC, and right now we're working on this campaign called the No Jail KC campaign. The city of Kansas City is trying to use $800 million of our taxpayer dollars in the form of a public safety sales tax over the course of 20 years to build this new jail. Now and I know like y'all feel like we can do other things with that money, so
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Haru was saying, it is $800 million of our taxpayer dollars that would be going directly to funding a jail. And what that means for us as taxpayers is that we, typically working class people, are going to pay more than just the 1% of Kansas City because it is what's called a regressive sales tax. So $25 million each year would be going to fund this jail. And in years past, because this has been around for 20 plus years, this has gone to things like the city manager's office or IT or KCPD. So not really things you think of when you think about public safety. And now we're fighting against this public safety sales tax because it doesn't actually mean public safety in Kansas City.
On Instagram at Mary with 2 eyes _ the artist. I'm also on Facebook at Mary Shaleo Correa. And just connect with me when this is all over so I can spell that because my name is pretty long. But,
Tonight was an amazing night. It was a great event. Shout out to Rick for running the event, man. I learned a lot. You know, it's very insightful, and I'm grateful to have a platform, be able to pull up to an event where, you know, it's black men that are thriving in the community, that's giving out free game, free value. Like, you know, networking and community is something that is irreplaceable. It's priceless. So if you miss this event, I highly recommend you make it to the next one.
This was a great event. I enjoyed my time with Brother Brent. I'd love to do it. I can't wait to the next event to see how it grows. Again, I'm Will Harris from Classic Blend Cigars.
Hello, my name is Felicity Ross, Ross Law Office. I just kind of stepped in tonight to kind of see all the business owners around town that are here hanging out and see how they're collaborating and making things happen. And it was really, really wonderful, and I will come back. All right, thank you.
What's up? It's your boy Terrell Ray. We just wrapped up Black Future Month with my guy Brent Darden. Man, thank you for having me out being one of the featured panelists. Kansas City, please be on the lookout for his next event. You gotta come out, you gotta support. This man is doing amazing things right here in Kansas City. So make sure you network, you connect, you collab. Brent Darden, you're doing your thing, bro.
Shout out to Brother Brent. This was a great event. Make sure y'all come out and support. Think to win events. And keep doing your thing, Brent.
Alright, man, it's it was great. We did a real great things here in Kansas City. And I love showing up and supporting. Just keep doing your thing, bro. Much love.
This was a great event, a lot of impact information, a lot of entrepreneurs within the city coming together, trying to share knowledge. If you wasn't here, you definitely missed out on some heavy hitters. Come out next time.
Brandon Conley here, CEO of Gift, just got finished.
finished doing a Think to Win panel for Black Future Month. It's an amazing event, amazing panelists. You know, it brought me great joy to be able to share my story, share my thoughts, share my expertise, and how people can, you know, grow their business and how they can persevere, how they can think to win. To actually move forward, grow, scale their business, and just, even if they don't have a business, how they can implement that, the things that we talked about on the panel, to just be more successful in life in whatever way they define success. So amazing event. Shout out to Brent for putting on this event, for all of the people that came out to it. And you know, if you're thinking about coming to one of these panels in the future, I can absolutely guarantee you that there will be valuable knowledge that you can take, no matter what your background is, what you have done, what you haven't done. You can get some valuable knowledge that you can take, implement, and go forth and be great.